You know someone like this? The person who has an opinion on everything and is wrong about most of it, but you never know it from how they talk. The one who interrupts experts to explain things they just Googled 20 minutes ago. The one who mistakes confidence for competence and has never once, not even for a second, considered the possibility that they might not know what they think they know. And right now, a small but significant percentage of people watching this video are nodding along thinking about that person, not realizing that person is them. Before you get comfortable thinking this video is about someone else, psychology has something important to tell you. The very nature of this condition makes it invisible to the people who have it. That's not an insult. That's the science. In 1999, psychologists David Dunning and Dunning-Kruger ran a series of studies that changed how we understand human intelligence forever. Their finding was both fascinating and brutal. The less competent a person is in a given area, the less capable they are of recognizing their own incompetence. In other words, the people who know the least are the most confident they know enough. And the truly terrifying part? The effect applies to everyone. In some area of your life, right now, you are that person. Stay with me, because sign number 4 is the one that's going to make you put your phone down and think. Let's talk about what's actually happening in the brain of someone who doesn't know what they don't know. The Dunning-Kruger effect works like this. When you first learn something, anything, you gain just enough knowledge to feel like you understand it. And that small amount of knowledge produces a disproportionately large amount of confidence. Psychologists call this the peak of Mount Stupid. You're at the top. You feel certain. You speak with authority. You share your opinions freely. And you have no idea that the mountain you're standing on is actually the smallest hill in an enormous landscape you haven't seen yet. The people who actually know things, the true experts, sit much further along the curve. And they're the most likely to say, I'm not sure, and it depends, and there's a lot I still don't understand. Because the more you actually know, the more clearly you can see how much more there is to know. Confidence doesn't grow with knowledge. In most cases, it shrinks. And the most dangerous person in any room is the one who hasn't figured that out yet. Sign 1. They never ask questions. Genuinely intelligent people are relentlessly curious. They ask questions constantly because they understand that every answer opens 3 more questions. But someone operating from false confidence doesn't ask questions, because asking a question would mean admitting there's something they don't know. And their entire identity is built on the belief that they already do. Watch the people around you. The ones who never ask, who only ever tell, are almost always the ones who have the most to learn. Sign 2. They think complexity means confusion. When a genuinely knowledgeable person gives a nuanced answer, acknowledges multiple sides, adds qualifications, says it depends, the overconfident person reads that as weakness, as not knowing, as overcomplicating something simple. But nuance isn't confusion. Nuance is what actual understanding looks like. Simple, confident answers are easy to give. They're also almost always wrong, and the person demanding them is usually the least equipped to recognize that. Be honest right now. Is there someone specific in your life you've thought of during those first 2 signs? Drop their initials in the comments. Just the initials. I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble. But also, and this is important, ask yourself if anyone who knows you might be typing your initials right now. That question is the whole point of this video. Sign 3. They dismiss what they can't follow. This one is subtle but devastating. When genuinely intelligent people encounter something they don't understand, their first instinct is curiosity. They lean in. They ask questions. They sit with the discomfort of not knowing. When someone with false confidence encounters the same thing, their first instinct is dismissal. That's overthinking it. Nobody actually talks like that. Sounds complicated for no reason. Because engaging with something you don't understand requires admitting you don't understand it. And that admission, for someone whose identity depends on always being the smartest person, feels genuinely threatening. So they dismiss it and walk away feeling like they just won an argument they never actually had. Sign 4. The one I promised. The one that's hardest to argue with. They physically cannot handle being wrong. They don't like being wrong. Everyone dislikes being wrong. They cannot process it. When confronted with clear evidence that contradicts something they believe, they don't update their position. They get louder. They find a new angle. They attack the source. They change the subject. They reframe the argument until being wrong becomes impossible because the goalposts have moved somewhere nobody can find them. Psychologists call this belief perseverance, the tendency to maintain a belief, even in the face of contradicting evidence. But in people with high overconfidence, it goes deeper than stubbornness. Being wrong isn't just uncomfortable. It is an existential threat to the identity they've built around being right. And you cannot reason someone out of a position they didn't reason themselves into. The people who can say, you know what, you're right, I was wrong, those are almost always the smartest people in the room. Because it takes genuine intelligence to hold your beliefs loosely enough to let better information replace them. Here's where this video stops being about someone else and starts being about you. Because Dunning-Kruger didn't find that some people have this effect and some people don't. They found that everyone has it in the areas where they're least competent. Which means right now, there is something in your life where you're the overconfident one, where you are the one not asking enough questions, where you are the one dismissing complexity as confusion, where you're the one doubling down instead of updating. That's not an attack. That's just being human. The difference, the only difference that matters, is what you do when you see it. The truly intelligent response to learning about the Dunning-Kruger effect is not to think about who in your life has it. It's to get quiet and ask yourself honestly, where in my life am I the person on top of that hill? Confident, certain, loud about something I barely understand? Because the moment you can ask that question and sit with the answer honestly, you just stepped off the hill. And that is the beginning of actual intelligence. If this channel is giving you the kind of self-awareness most people spend years trying to find, hit subscribe. We post frequently, and every video is designed to show you something true about yourself you didn't see before. Don't miss what's coming next. The goal was never to make you feel stupid. The goal was to show you that the people who grow the fastest, who learn the most, adapt the best, become genuinely formidable over time, are not the ones who are always right. They're the ones who got very good at noticing when they were wrong and choosing curiosity over ego every single time mattered. That's not a personality trait you're born with. That's a decision you make, starting right now. If you know someone who needed to hear this today, and honestly, we all do, send them this video. Let them figure out for themselves which part was about them. The unshaken mind. Think deeper. Move better. See you soon.